Welcome back to the channel. These companies know a few things. One of them is this. They have to beat the legacy system to the brilliant minds. They have to bring them in. They have to bring all the genius minds in to the bank coin companies, to the new financial system, so they can remain dominant. It's always a constant battle with the legacy system. You never underestimate your opponent. Second thing, conditioning. And I said this years ago, when you had Ripple in the universities, Algorand in the universities, Stellar, they had these programs they were calling accelerators. And didn't I say, I said it was about conditioning to bring the new college graduates into blockchain if they're familiar with it, if they've taken classes for that. You're going to get some of the best and brightest that's going to be their major. They're going to want to work with the technology if they understand how dominant it is, how potent it is. Then that's what you're going to train in, because you don't want to be left behind. You want to find employment. You want something where it's going to go far, long into the future. It's the same way that now a lot of individuals learning AI. That's the thing to learn. That's what they did then, right? And this is what they're doing now. This article is titled Ripple CEO Breaks Silence on Company's Academic Blockchain Vision. Let's hear him out. Maybe he takes this in a different direction than what I'm thinking. Yeah, that doesn't negate what they've done, and that doesn't negate what I've said. It's all important. These are chess moves. You don't see it? Pawn moves here. You move a knight over here. They're making moves. Ripple CEO highlights academic blockchain drive amid new milestone. It says Ripple's commitment to pushing the boundaries of blockchain innovation in academia just hit a new milestone, which has Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse excited. Ripple's University Blockchain Research Initiative, UBRI, promotes research and innovation across fields, including finance, law, engineering, the arts. At the University of Kansas, KU, UBRI funding by Ripple has spawned an interdisciplinary collaboration that merges blockchain, community storytelling, and contemporary art. You see where this is going? They're planting seeds. What happens when you plant a seed? Seed begins to sprout. Roots hit the ground. Roots. Something grows out of those roots. If something grows out of this, what does it turn into? What is it? No. What does it turn into? What does it benefit? You don't see all this creativity and, and once again, high IQ individuals noticing RWAs coming. Storytelling. What do you need? Community storytelling. What do you need storytelling ability for? Marketing, which a lot of people struggle with. Oh, they have some great companies. No doubt about it. Great companies, great ideas. They don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to sell it. They don't have someone with that charisma, or a company that knows how to wield individuals, bring them in with charisma to sell an idea. They don't have that. These collegiate people, they're learning storytelling in combination with blockchain and contemporary art. Interesting. NFTs, anybody? Right. But this extends far beyond that, because we know everything is going to be tokenized. But if everything's going to be tokenized and we're entering an age of AI, guess what? People, let me calm down a little bit. I'm a little excited today. People are going to be making their own ads now instead of someone else. Everyone pays all that money for other people to make ads. But wait a minute. With the right AI technology, you can make your own ads. You can make them realistic now, right? I mean, you can make a flyer. You can make anything. High quality. It doesn't take that much training. You don't think that they're thinking about that with this? So now they're making their own ads to push products that are built, mechanisms and products that are built on the blockchain. Folks, I'm telling you, what they're up to, they're setting up the legacy system. It's a beautiful thing for anybody that's holding bank coins, for sure. 100%. I mean, you believe what you want to believe. This is my opinion. There's no way around this. No way. Once again, you think that these students who are getting taught about blockchain aren't doing a little bit of research and see the trillions of dollars that stand to come into the industry, whether they're holders of a protocol, a native token, or they're builders? It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference at this point right now. While the golden age is still upon us, the door is open is open a little bit more now. Everybody will have the opportunity. I won't say everybody. Let me mold that a little bit. Let's mold that idea. Every wise one who understands what to do when the time is right will have the opportunity to feast. Feast. I'm not exaggerating. That's what I believe. It's what I'm seeing. If you see something else, I can respect that. I would just I would have to just disagree. We still be cool after that. Some people, I always have to say something like that because some people don't understand that. They honestly feel like if you have a disagreement, you have to be like mortal enemies. It's not that serious. Now, it continues on. In collaboration with the Spencer Museum of Art. Folks, people are not understanding. See, this is all practice. This is what this is. And this is all good information. Let me read the rest of that before I give my thoughts. In collaboration with the Spencer Museum of Art, the project explores how blockchain can empower communities to reclaim ownership over space, memory, and digital expression. They're going to move fine art pieces, folks. You have no idea. That's a light part of RWA. That's light stuff, but that's going to be a lot of value. There are some brilliant artists out there. They don't all get to shine. And someone's going to buy that art piece, $500, sell it for $1,000, maybe $1,500. It's going to be easy. That person buys it for $1,500. That value is going to continue to increase. Only one of them were made. They're going to sell it for $5,000, maybe more. I'm just giving an example. It's going to be easy, and everyone's waiting to feast on those. And that's a light. Once again, that's a light aspect of NFTs, and people are waiting to feast on that. They're getting ready for it, but all of this is practice for the big deal, the big stuff. Everything will be tokenized, stocks, real estate, etc. Right? Let's go down here. We didn't even get to what Garlinghouse was saying, Mr. Garlinghouse. In an X post, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Yeah, I show respect because, I was taught you show respect, you get respect in return. I definitely expect respect, and I definitely demand respect. I don't tolerate disrespect. I'm just saying, folks. In an X post, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse reacted to this milestone, which aligns with the reason the Ubri was founded in the first place. Scroll down here. Okay, well, they actually cropped the tweet in here. Is that, they still call them tweets? I don't know. They put it in here. It says, always exciting to see my alma mater at University of Kansas leading the way in pushing the boundaries of on-chain use cases. This is exactly why Ripple launched the University Blockchain Initiative to support academic research, driving new utility and long-term impact of crypto. Let's just be real, Mr. Garlinghouse. You can fool a lot of people. You cannot fool me. You will not fool me. That's not going to happen, sir. I'm very perspicacious and I'm very intelligent. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm a very humble person. Trust me. Meet me in real life. I'm a very humble person. But you're not going to fool me. You all. It's not just you. You went into those universities knowing that many brilliant minds are going to be drawn to this technology. A lot of them don't know what to do their freshman, sophomore year. So now they're freshman, sophomore year, maybe they have an elective or something. I don't know. Junior year, I don't know. And so they're learning about DLT. They're learning about NFTs. They're learning to build this new technology that's going to be dominant, undeniably dominant. And they say to themselves, you know what? Maybe I should work in this. This is going to be in demand. It is. It is. This is going to be in demand in a current landscape where we all know it's been very difficult. It doesn't matter if you have a bachelor's degree today. It doesn't matter if you have a master's degree today. It's been I'm watching. I'm reading articles and, I see videos also. People send me stuff all the time. And it seems that these youth out here today, young folks, bachelor's, masters, they're having a difficulty in a lot of fields finding work. So those who are wise, erudite, they are going to go towards something that's in demand. And blockchain and AI, things like that, are definitely going to be in demand. Did you see the AI that they put into the robot the other day that did the surgery 100% on its own? Did that surgery successfully? Did you see that? Right. In demand. Someone's going to need to program these things. Someone's going to need to run them, fix them. You know that, Mr. Garlinghouse. You know that you're absorbing brilliant minds, or you're going to, into the XRPL, into blockchain, ensuring the new financial system explodes like you intend. That's why you all have so much XRP. Let's just be real. Sure, it has utility, all that good stuff. Oh, that's so nice. That's very good. You want to make a ton of value off that XRP. That's why y'all had a little bit of it. Still have some of it. Why do some of these bigwigs still have XRP? Huh? Why? You tell me? Is it just about the utility? That you don't think that they expect that price to explode beyond $10? You don't think that? They know. They have banks that they know about. We don't even know about. They told us that. You think they don't expect it to explode beyond $10? My word. All right. To each his own. To each his own. There's no guarantees. But this is my view. All right. People definitely let me know their view for sure. Definitely do. It says, quote. Oh, no, we read that. Why did they do that? They put the tweet here, but then they quote it anyway right after the tweet. It's the same thing twice. Through the Ubri, Ripple has provided funding for blockchain research at the University of Kansas, including experimental collaborations such as the Spencer Museum of Art's decentralized counter mapping initiative. Everything's going to run through the chain. It doesn't matter. The payments are going to run through the chain. The tokenization of that art, the selling of the art, the moving of the art from one museum to another, if that indeed does occur. New pieces being moved to museums are going to be tracked on chain, offline QR code tracking, things like that. People entering the museums is going to be paid on chain. I think that's going to be the dominant form. Google Pay, Apple Pay will come over to the chain sooner rather than later. Also, I think a lot of the stores will favor, once you have DLT payments go mainstream, a lot of stores are going to favor DLT payments because they're probably going to make a little bit, there'll be an incentive there. Unlike there was with, I believe it was Apple Pay at one time. Stores did not want to utilize Apple Pay. Look that up. It was either Apple Pay or Google Pay. And one of the prime stores was like 7-Eleven. A lot of them didn't want to utilize, if you remember the articles coming out, either Apple Pay or Google Pay, because they don't make any money off of those transactions. So they resist it for a long, long time. Well, that's not going to happen with DLT because they're going to be incentivized. Everybody makes money with DLT. Everybody makes money on the chain, makes value on the chain. They're going to hop on that. Like, wait, we have a better system coming that is cheaper for us, and yet we make some capital, some good capital off of that. Right. They're going to jump on top of that. It's just my humble opinion. I mean, look into it. Do your own research, of course. All right. So now let's move on here because I was having fun with that article. I like good stuff. I like good articles. You don't like that? You like that? Good things? You're like, Mick, that's dumb. How dare you ask us that? Of course we like good stuff. Now, some people like drama. They don't like to have a good time. Let's just be real. Some people like drama. So now, it's true. There's all kinds in this world, right? So now this article here is titled XRP set for big week as ProShares ETF launches July 18th. All right, let's read a little bit about this. XRP could hit new heights next week with ProShares XRP ETF set to launch. This launch also coincides with US Crypto Week. Make sure, once again, do your own research. Look into this. This is coming from CoinGape.com. The ProShares XRP ETF is scheduled to launch on July 18th, following its listing on the DTCC earlier this week. The launch notably coincides with the U.S. cryptocurrency week. It says, asset manager ProShares has officially set July 18th, 2025 as the effective date for its XRP ETF, following an amendment filed under Rule 485B13. The fund had earlier appeared on the DTCC web platform. This signals readiness to join a growing list of crypto-based exchange-traded products. All right, and they screenshotted the entire little paper here. Market analysts view this launch as a significant milestone, opening doors for institutions seeking regulated exposure to XRP. The move is expected to add fresh liquidity and potentially push the token's price higher as large investors gain more confidence in Ripple's regulatory status. The ProShares XRP ETF adds to the growing number of ETFs expected to launch. CoinGate reported back in May that NYSE Arca had approved the listing of Teucrium's 2x long daily XRP ETF. These things have some interesting names, I'll just say that. With the double leverage ETF now recording inflows of close to $160 million. In addition to ProShares XRP ETFs, several other XRP ETFs are also awaiting approval. They include Volatility Shares 2x XRP ETF, Tuttle Capital's 2x long XRP daily target ETF. According to filings, both issuers have received SEC acknowledgement and expect to start trading soon as the crypto week approaches. It says the ProShares XRP ETF launch interestingly coincides. Okay, and then they go into that a little bit more. July 14th to July 18th, Washington, D.C. will host Crypto Week, where lawmakers will discuss critical legislation, including the Clarity Act and the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. According to industry insiders, these regulatory changes, combined with well-publicized ETF launches, may rekindle interest and support a rally in the cryptocurrency market as a whole. In other ETF news, Teucrium's double leverage XRP ETF has seen impressive growth. In a single day, the ETF jumped 27%, increasing its weekly gain to 55%. All right, so now let's go here. We have just a little bit more. So now, bear with me one moment. A little bit of Solana news, right? Just a little wee bit of Solana news. This article is titled, Kenya launches national digital token Kenya NDT on Solana blockchain. All right. Listen, I'm excited about any new activity that's going on with any of these bank coins. I think it shows progression, shows they're moving forward. Companies are interested. This will bring others. Things like this will bring others into it. All right. And that's my interest there. And then, of course, those prices exploding later on, which they're already, like I said, from where they were before. A lot of these things are doing very, very well. You want to be honest. Kenya has taken a significant step forward in its digital finance landscape with the launch of its national digital token, Kenya NDT, on the Solana blockchain. This initiative, announced by Information, Communication and Technology Secretary William Kabogo, understands, I just completely messed that up. Underscores. Why'd you let me do that? You let me do that. Yeah. Just you and me around here, right? So I'm going to put it on you. You let me do that. Underscores the government's commitment to integrating fintech solutions and providing tech-driven governance. The digital token is designed to enhance financial inclusion, empower digital trade, and position Kenya as a global leader in technological innovation. Of course, everybody says that. We want to be a leader. They have to say that, right? But it's a benefit to everybody to utilize these particular systems. These are the best of the best technologies. But at the same time, most people are involved to make some money. Yeah. Money, 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 money. Money. Remember that song? That's an old school song, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So, okay, so we have some positive things going on for Solana. I'm going to leave that one there. Let's get over here to this Bitcoin news, a little bit of Bitcoin news. So now, this article is titled, Bitcoin Retail Interest Almost Nowhere to Be Found. Really? As BTC taps highs, what do you make of that? Once again, it says retail interest almost nowhere to be found. Why? Why? Where does this lead? What does this mean? Right. I know you know. We're here. Remember, we used to do that in the early 90s. We're here. Right. We understand. Bitcoin's surge to all-time highs has barely moved the needle in the Google search interest compared to the spike seen after certain political events had taken place a little while ago, of course. So now, let's scroll down here past this gigantic picture of Bitcoin. It's like, I don't know why these pictures on these websites are so huge. I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. I'm just interested in information. It said, but it continues here. Bitcoin has reached consecutive record highs this week, yet retail investors seem reluctant to jump back into the market, according to a crypto researcher. I mean, according to the data, you go by the data, right? The companies have been dominating. Let me continue to read this. It says, however, demand for spot Bitcoin ETFs is surging, with Thursday and Friday recording daily inflows of over $1 billion, the first time this happened on 2 consecutive days. Bitwise head of research Andre Dragos said in an X post on Friday, quote, Bitcoin is at new all-time highs, but retail is almost nowhere to be found, unquote, pointing to the lack of Google search interest in Bitcoin, unquote, unquote. Not that that's the be-all, end-all. It's not. But let's continue. Despite the asset setting consecutive all-time highs this week, quote, latest leg up is mostly driven by institutions, as I said it was going to be, as many perspicacious researchers said it was going to be. We could see the writing on the wall. They're coming in to dominate. They've been squeezing retail out. They've been pressuring retail relentlessly while they buy more. So what this really says to me is they have retail right where they want them. Now, Google search, listen, once again, you're not getting this big, and I don't know if you're seeing this, is what I'm seeing. You're not getting this huge promotional push of Bitcoin that could be there. We've seen flashes of it before, but there's not there. Why? Why is that? When it's time, these companies will snap their fingers. All of their media friends will make a huge push. You'll see Bitcoin is good. Everybody needs to get into Bitcoin. You'll literally see, and this is not financial advice, not me saying it. I've seen this before. That's what I'm saying. I've seen this before. You'll literally see articles written that say, buy now. So you're telling me to buy now. That's what you're saying. They will make the most unbelievable push. And people are very heavily influenced. They are by these powerful figures. They listen to them, and you will see buying happen. I'm telling you, they'll buy, they'll be excited, they'll be pumped up, and they'll go tell their friends, and the people will be talking about it positively. This is what I've gathered from my experience in life. I've seen it before. I've seen it before. I remember, I'll give you an example of one of many of my experiences. I remember I was out there just way back in when I first started posting videos on the channel. That was about 4 years ago. And I remember being out there in the world and having a discussion with some people. There's a group of people and discuss crypto and such. Mostly it was the stock market, but crypto was getting hot at the time. And I was telling about Cardano. Right, this is when I had some Cardano. And it was new. Not a lot of people knew about it at all. And I was discussing this with them. I'm showing them research. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I like to provide proof. That's how my father raised me. He's like, you have to have something solid, Mick. So I'm showing them this research. I'm showing them this proof. And I'm saying, hey, I think that this is what Cardano was not. Nothing was exploding yet. This is before that big bull run that occurred. Okay, way before that. And I'm talking to them about Cardano and such like that. And people were not listening at all. They did not care. Then next thing you know, boom, Cardano explodes, people. I'm talking about it took off. I sold my Cardano. So I don't have any today. I sold that Cardano. As you know, I've said this before. It wasn't until it already exploded. Now the media is going berserk. They're Cardano. Now they want to jump in. I had already moved on. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. I'm on to other things. And now I'm hearing from these same people who have forgotten that I was talking about that before. And they're like, Cardano, you hear about Cardano? I'm like, really? Really? Now they're jumping in at almost all-time highs and when everybody's going to be selling. That influence from the mainstream is massive. I think that's what's missing here. There's a lot of manipulation, I think, involved with that, a lot of control. But companies are taking the wheel. But the good part about that is they're not here to stop right at these prices. They're not. They're here because they're intending for this to go much, much higher. So it's just a matter of, do the people take advantage of the companies who are desperate right now? Or do the companies win? They pump it later and take advantage of the people. We're going to see who wins that battle. You know, I know the game I'm playing for sure. Especially when it comes to bank coins. I want that bank money. When it comes to Bitcoin, I have my numbers set. I'm like, okay, I'm going to move something around at this price. And then I might hold a little bit because I think it's going to go much higher. Not without its dips and corrections. You want to protect your value for sure. Not financial advice. This is not financial advice. All right. I'm not a financial advisor, but I like to protect my value for sure. All right. I'll just leave it at that. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.